So hi guys, welcome to Sarat Chandra IAS Academy. I know you guys are feeling very much stressed regarding the things you need to cover at the last stages of the exam. That's why we have brought this series, that is the top 100 places in news for UPSC 2024, where we'll try to discuss the 100 places that has been curated from different newspapers like the Hindu, the Indian Express, the Live Mint, and different newspapers which we have covered. We have gone into the nook and corners of the newspaper and have brought out the places in news, and we'll try to discuss those places with you. So we'll start the topic now. So you know, UPSC 2024 prelims is very nearer, but I know majority of the people are very stressed and they want to have a compilation of the things which has happened in news. So that's why we have started this series called the Places in News, where we'll try to understand what are the different places in news so that they can be replicated exactly in the exam. We have gone to the nook and corner of the newspaper and have picked up some of the places which can be asked as in the UPSC by looking at the previous year questions of the UPSC. Now, I'll dive through the topics which we'll be discussing in this Places in News. The first place is Gaziantep. You know, these are the places which are present in the Hindu or the Indian Express continuously. That's why I picked up these places. Now, Gaziantep is in news because in Turkey, you know, in Turkey, which is very near to Syria, so the people are having the refugees are going and staying in this Gaziantep, which is present in Turkey. But Turkey people are not accepting it because that's their own territory. That's where the tussle is going on in Gaziantep. That's why it is in news. Next. So the next one is regarding Jordan. You know why Jordan in news continuously? Because of Israel-Palestine conflict also. Because it is very nearer to Israel-Palestine. Because it is very, very nearer to Syria again. That's why it has been in news. Now when it comes to Jordan, the only few places which can be asked in the news is Amman. Amman is the capital of Jordan. Then we have Irbid. Irbid is also the place in Jordan which has been in news. Now, next one. So the next one is Syrian crisis. Now we'll understand the places regarding the Syrian. You know why Syrian crisis has occurred? Because of two factions which has been fought out. But it has been shown as an international conflict again between the US and Russia. So that's where we need to understand the places in Syria. First, Aleppo. This has been already asked in UPSC previous year question. Then we have Idlib province. Then we have Hama. We have Homs. We have Palmyra. Then we have Raqqa. Then we have Kobane. Then we have Jarablus. So then Damascus. Then Daraya. So this can be already they have asked question on Aleppo. So they may not ask it. They asked in Raqqa. They didn't ask about Damascus. Next time they can give you the statement Damascus and match the following can be given. That's where if you look at this lecture, at least you can get 4 to 5 marks extra. This is called the last minute revision series. Now the next thing is regarding the Kinmen province. Kinmen province. You know there is one country, two systems. Which is regarding the China. We talk about. In this, there is a province nearer to the mainland China called Kinmen, which has been claimed by the Taiwan. That's where it is a disputed territory between the Taiwan and China. That is Kinmen. Next. So the next one is Pratas Island. Pratas Island, which is also a disputed territory between the Taiwan, Hong Kong and Philippines. This is also the disputed territory. Pratas Island. Next, Gulf of Tonkin. Gulf of Tonkin. Gulf of Tonkin is present near the Vietnam coast. So Vietnam coast. Gulf of Tonkin, which is present in the South China Sea. This Gulf is present near to the Vietnam. So why it is in news? Because there is a South China Sea conflict going on between the China and Vietnam. So Vietnam is claiming its own exclusive economic zone. China is claiming its own exclusive economic zone. That's why there is a difference. Here you need to understand Gulf of Tonkin. It can give you Gulf of Thailand, Gulf of Tonkin, different Gulfs it can give. Gulf of Oman. So you need to understand it is nearer to the Vietnam. So the next question. So the next one is Darien Gap. Darien Gap. So you know if you have seen the movie called Donkey, which has been starred by the Shah Rukh Khan sir. So if you have seen this, they would show you how people used to go through these gaps to other countries, to US or Mexico. Now, the similar type of gap which is present is Darien Gap. Here it is between the Panama and Colombia. That is Darien Gap. So here you can see Gulf of Panama again. So here you can also see Gulf of Darien. That's where Darien gaps come, Panama and Colombia. So the next thing is regarding Essequibo, which is a disputed territory between the Venezuela and Guyana. So Venezuela and Guyana, South American countries. So here the disputed territory is Essequibo. So the next one is the famous Israel. So there are few places in news which you need to understand regarding the Israel. The first one is, you know about the Jerusalem. About Jerusalem, you know. Then we have Hajiva province. So Hajiva in Israel. Then we have West Bank also, Tel Aviv. Tel Aviv also we need to understand. Then Hafia province. Hafia province is also in Israel. Then we know Gaza Strip has been controlled by the Palestinians, which is majorly controlled by the Hamas. So then next we need to understand about Israeli crossings. So here you can see Rafah crossing. Using this Rafah crossing, you can reach from Gaza Strip to Egypt. So recently the Rafah crossing has been in news because the Rafah, here there are major number of people have been died when they were crossing the Rafah. That's why it is in news. Then you can see Erez crossing is also there near to the Gaza Strip to reach to the Israel again. So these are the crossings present. So the next one is regarding the West Bank. There are provinces in West Bank which we need to understand. One is Hebron province. Then second one is Tulkarm province. Then Jenin. These three are in news continuously regarding the West Bank. Then you know about Jerusalem, which is the territory of Palestinians again, Israeli people again, and Muslims also. The next one is regarding Ukraine. You know, Russia-Ukraine war has been continuously happening. That's why the places which are periphery regarding the Ukraine and Russia is very important in the exam. Regarding Ukraine, the first thing which you need to understand is the capital. The Kyiv is the capital. And the major port is Odessa port. And the bordering countries of Ukraine. The first is Poland. Then Belarus. You know Russia. That's where the conflict have arrived. Then Romania. So these four countries are the bordering countries of Ukraine. Then it is also bordering the Black Sea. So regarding Black Sea also, we will try to understand the bordering countries of Black Sea, which can be asked as a potential question. Because there is an initiative called Black Sea Grain Initiative. So Black Sea Grain Initiative. There is an initiative called Black Sea Grain Initiative. Through these initiatives, we want to move the grains from the Ukraine province using the Black Sea to the countries which are in need. So that's why the European countries or any other countries using the Black Sea Grain Initiative, they are getting the goods from the Ukraine, and Ukraine is getting the goods from the Black Sea Grain Initiative. So the major ports which are using is Danube Delta. Danube is a river which is flowing through Ukraine again, which is going into the Black Sea. Then Sulina province or Sulina channel. Then we have Constanta port, which is present in Romania. Constanta port. Then we have Bosphorus Strait, which connects the Black Sea and the Aegean Sea. Sorry, Sea of Marmara. Sea of Marmara. This is called Bosphorus Strait. So that's how the channel through this Black Sea, we are trying to connect the grains. We are trying to give the grains to the people who are in need in Ukraine. So the next one. So the next one is, you see, from here, from Chilia, it starts with Sulina, then it goes to St. George, then it goes to the provinces. That's where the route Black Sea Grain Initiative have been brought. So the next one. Next one is Ukraine's nuclear power plant, where Russia have attacked. There are few nuclear power plants where Russia have attacked these places. One is Zaporizhia. So Zaporizhia is a nuclear plant which is continuously in news because it's a nuclear power plant. If nuclear blast happens, it will be a major effect on the people there. That's why. So the next one. Regarding the Ukraine, we need to understand few places. One is Donetsk. This is the place where the first issue had started. Because these people, Donetsk and Luhansk people, want to stay with Russia. But these places are present in Ukraine. So that's why Russia came to capture these places. But because of so many reasons, the whole Ukraine has been getting captured. Then we have Kirovohrad. Then we have Mykolaiv. And we have Vinnytsia. So then we have Sumy. Because these places are in news. Then we have Kharkiv. So whenever you see these terms, remember this, these are from Ukraine. So it can be Vinnytsia or Kirovohrad or Mykolaiv or Sumy or Kharkiv. So these places are in news. So the next one. So you see the Kherson or Vysolovphilia or Kiev. These places are in news. Then next one. So the next one I have talked about Sumy also. Sumy is also in news in Ukraine. And the next one, Mykolaiv, which is also in Ukraine. Next, you see, this is what I was talking about. Vinnytsia, Kyiv, Kharkiv, then Mariupol. Mariupol is also in news because it is a seaport in Ukraine. And we have Odisha, which is also a seaport, which is connecting the Black Sea. That's why it is in news. So the next one. So you see this Constanta. The Constanta, which is a port in Romania. Then Sevastopol also has been news, which is present in Crimean province. Then we have Yalta port, which is also in Crimea. Then we have Odisha, which is in Ukraine. So these are the major ports around the Black Sea region. Now next one. So the next one is regarding the Odisha also, which we have talked about, Ukraine. Then there is a province called Transnistria. Transnistria province, which is present in Moldova. So Moldova, this is a province in Moldova where this Transnistrian province has been the disputed territory between Moldova and Ukraine. Between Moldova and Ukraine, not only between Russia and Ukraine, between a country called Moldova and Ukraine, there is a dispute that is called Transnistria. The next one is Abyei region, which has been in news. The Abyei region, which is in Sudan, because we are trying to send the all-women crew to help those people which are present in the Sudan region. So these will work in the UN peacekeeping forces. So India is sending it. Peacekeeping forces. So that are called blue helmets. Blue helmets. That's why Abyei region is news. We are sending them to the Abyei region. That's why it is in news. So the next one is Darfur province. So Darfur is also near to the Sudan coast again. Darfur province. And the next one is Tigray region. Tigray is the province in Ethiopia, where there is a continuous civil war going on in the Tigray region. That's why it is in news. Tigray region is Ethiopia. So the next one is South China Sea, which we need to understand. South China Sea. So you see the South China Sea, a 9-dash line has been drawn by China to claim whole South China Sea and the islands near it. That's why you see there is an island called Parasal Island and there is an island called Spratly Island. So these islands has been claimed by China as its own. That's why it is starting its own naval bases in those regions. That's why South China Sea is in news. You see, to reach to South China Sea, from India, I need to come in this route. So that's why it should have the permission of Strait of Malacca, which is in Indonesia or Malaysia. Now, China is building an artificial canal here again. That is called the Kra Canal, to bypass the Strait of Malacca so that they can reach directly to the South China Sea. That's what China is thinking. So now we'll understand the few things regarding the South China Sea. So you see the lines drawn by different regions. Vietnam claims this region. Then see how Philippines claim. So how Bruneians claim. So these are the different claims. That's why China have drawn its own 9-dash line and claiming the whole region, whole South China Sea as its own. So the next one is Natuna Island. Natuna Island is in Indonesia. So you see this is Natuna Island, which is in Indonesia. Sorry, it is in Malaysia. It is in Malaysia, which is also present in the South China Sea, which is also disputed. So the next one. So the next one is Snake Island. Snake Island, which is present in Black Sea. So there is an island called Snake Island which is present in Black Sea, because whenever you are reaching the Black Sea, you need to reach through the Snake Island where majority of the vipers are present. So the next one is Orkney Island. Orkney Island, which is present in the Atlantic Ocean and the North Sea province. This has been in news because of there is an issue with the Scotland government regarding the Orkney Island. That's why it has been news. Then we have Arctic Sea, Arctic Ocean. So now UPSC have a major thing to ask regarding the Arctic Ocean. One thing is, it has already asked questions on the Arctic Council. It can ask what are the different seas present in the Arctic Ocean. Try to arrange them from east to west. That's why you see there is Chukchi Sea. Then we have East Siberian Sea. Then we have Laptev Sea. Then we have Kara Sea. Then we have Barents Sea. Then we have Norwegian Sea. They can ask you to arrange from east to west or west to east. That's why we need to understand this. The first one is Chukchi Sea. Then we have East Siberia. Then Laptev. Then Kara. Then Barents. Then Norwegian Sea. That's what we need to understand about Arctic Ocean. Then we have Lake Titicaca. Lake Titicaca, which is a disputed lake between the Bolivia and Peru. Bolivia and Peru has a dispute regarding the Lake Titicaca, which is in South America. So the next one. So the next one is Thwaites Glacier, which is present in Antarctica, which is present specifically in West Antarctica. Antarctica. So here you can see the Amundsen Sea. So that's why this is also called Doomsday Glacier. Because if the whole glacier melts, it can be doomsday to the whole world. The sea level rises and it can lead to climate change effect again. That's why it is also called Doomsday Glacier. So the next question is regarding the Zambezi River. Zambezi River. So the Zambezi River actually flows from Zambia. So Zambezi River actually flows from Zambia to Mozambique again. So to Mozambique it will fall. So that's why it is an Indian Ocean. It will come into the Indian Ocean. The Zambezi River, it is in the name itself. It is from Zambia to Mozambique. So there is a dispute between the Zambia and Mozambique. That's why it is in news. The next one is regarding the Turkey. There are earthquakes which has occurred in Turkey. That's why the places which are nearer to these earthquake prone regions can be a potential question. The first one is Gaziantep, which I have discussed. The Gaziantep, which I have discussed in the first slide. Then we have Ekinozo, then Malatya, then Adiyaman. So these are the places which are present in the Turkey province. That can be a potential question. So the next one is regarding the Dhanushkodi, which you know, which has been continuously in news. So this is the Dhanushkodi, so which is a territory which is the ending of the India's sovereignty in land. So that's where when after Dhanushkodi, we have a straits. So we have Pak Strait. Which connects Sri Lanka and India. So you would have heard of also Ram Setu. You would have seen a movie which has been acted by the Akshay Kumar, which has talked about Ram Setu again. So in this Ram Setu, so you see, so from Dhanushkodi, they are saying that a connection has been made to Sri Lanka. That connection is called the Ram Setu Bridge or Adams Bridge we call. So that's why we need to understand about Dhanushkodi. So and they are also trying to have a ferry service to Sri Lanka from the Nagapattinam to Kanke Santurai. So they want to run a boat service or a ferry service from there. Next one is Sahel region and Operation Barkhane. You know, Sahel region is a major conflict region, so which is continuously insurgency is occurring there. Continuous terrorist activities has been occurring in these regions. So what are the things which are present in the Sahel region? So Mauritania, Mali, Nigeria, Niger, Chad and Sudan. There is no South Sudan again. That's why you should not be confused. Then there is Eritrea. These are the countries in the Sahel region. And what is Operation Barkhane? This has been in the operation by the France. This is the operation by the France to reduce the conflict prone areas in the Sahel region. That is Operation Barkhane. Next one is Liptako Gorma Charter. This has been a charter which has been signed between three countries. One is Mali, Niger and Burkina Faso. These three countries have established Liptako Gorma Charter. So you need to understand this is an African countries charter, three countries charter, Mali, Niger and Burkina Faso. Then we have a disputed islands called Senkaku Islands, which is a disputed territory between China and Japan. China and Japan. So Senkaku or Diaoyu Islands. Diaoyu Islands. This is also called a Diaoyu Islands, which is a disputed territory. This is a disputed territory between Japan and China. Then next we have Kuril Islands, which is a disputed territory between Russia and Japan. Russia and Japan. So the next one, Nusantara. Nusantara. So now Indonesia has been shifting its capital from Brunei to Nusantara. So it has been shifting its capital to Nusantara. Now the capital of Indonesia is Nusantara. So Nusantara is the capital of it. So the next one is places in Iraq, because Iraq has continuously in news. That's why we need to understand the places in Iraq. The first place is Mosul or Kirkuk. Then we have Karbala. Then we have Baghdad province, which has been continuously in news. So the Mosul, Kirkuk and Baghdad, which we need to understand as the places. So the next one is Belarus. So Belarus has been in news because whenever Russia-Ukraine conflict is going on, the person who has been in middle, who has been suffered most is the Belarus, because it borders both Russia and Ukraine. That's why Belarus has been the major impact player in between the Russia and Ukraine. Now in this, the places is, we need to understand Minsk. So if you are reading the Russia-Ukraine conflict, there is an agreement called Minsk Agreement, which has been done by Russia and Ukraine, where all the nuclear arsenal will be submitted to the Russia. That has been the agreement, Minsk Agreement. So that has been happening in Belarus only. So the next one is Drake Passage. Drake Passage. So just like how we have the Duncan Passage between the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, here we have Drake Passage, which is between the South America and Antarctica. Between South America and Antarctica, there is a Drake Passage. Here there is a cape called Cape Horn. There is a Cape Horn. So the next one is Worku, which is a disputed territory between Tajikistan and Kyrgyzstan. Worku is the disputed territory. Then Lake Baikal. So the Lake Baikal has been continuously in news because they are trying to dig the Lake Baikal and understand how the Lake Baikal is behaving, whether it is drying out or not. What's happening in the Lake Baikal? They are trying to dig inside the holes. That's why it is in news. The Lake Baikal is a lake in Russia. Near to Russia, we can see Lake Baikal. The next one is, we have Murmansk port also we call, which is present in Russia again. So through this port, we are going for North Sea route. North Sea route is getting connected through this Murmansk port only. So the next one is Kola Super Deep Borehole. This has been started in the Murmansk only. Kola province, Murmansk, Kola Super Deep Borehole has been started, which is near to the Barents Sea or Norwegian Sea. The next one is India, Middle East, European corridor. In this, the main important things is the ports. Mumbai, the port is in India. The second one, Jebel Ali, which is present in UAE. Then we have other port called Al Kuwait, which is in UAE. Then we have Harad, which is in Saudi Arabia. We have Riyadh, which is in Saudi Arabia. We have Al Hadaita, which is in Saudi Arabia. Then we have Hafia, which is in Israel. Then we have Piraeus, which is in Greece. You need to understand the ports and the country which has been associated with the sport. That we need to understand. So the next one is Bangladesh. Why Bangladesh has been in news? Because of Cox's Bazar. In Cox's Bazar, the Rohingyas, which are coming from the Myanmar, are staying in the refugee camps near to the Cox's Bazar. And here also you need to understand Chittagong port, which is a port in Bangladesh. That we need to understand. So the next one, there is a port called Mongla port also. Mongla port is also an important port. So the next one is Pantanal wetland. Pantanal wetland. This wetland is the largest wetland in the South America. So it has been bordered by 3 countries, Brazil, Bolivia and Paraguay. Because of the development activities or the climate change, this Pantanal wetland has been shrinking. That's why it is in news. So the next one is regarding the Duqm port, which is present in the Oman, which is maintained by the China. China is trying to present a naval base near the Duqm port. Then there is a Salalah port also near to the Oman again. The next one is Lachin corridor. The Lachin corridor is a corridor between the Armenia and Azerbaijan. If you want to reach the Armenia and Azerbaijan, you need to go through those corridor only. Go through that corridor. So the next one is regarding the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict. This conflict is between Armenia and Azerbaijan, which has been continuously in news. So this province is present in Azerbaijan at present. That's what we need to understand. So the next one is Helmand River. Helmand River, which is a dispute between the Afghanistan and Iran. It is a dispute. The Helmand River is a dispute between the Afghanistan and Iran. Then Darwaza gas crater. So Darwaza gas crater, which is present in Turkmenistan. So you see, this is like a crater. So the next one is India's ports abroad. So how many ports India is claiming in the abroad territories? One is Sabang port, which is in Indonesia. Then we have Chabahar port, which is in Iran. Duqm port, which is in Oman. Then we have a port near Assumption Island, which is near to Seychelles. So that's where we need to understand the India's overseas ports. The next one, Bakassi conflict. Bakassi conflict, which is a conflicted territory between the Nigeria and Cameroon, which is an African country, Nigeria and Cameroon. The next one is Halayib Triangle. Halayib Triangle, which is a triangle between the Sudan, Egypt and Saudi Arabia. These are triangular countries, Egypt, Saudi Arabia and Sudan. The next one is Puntland. Puntland, which is a province in Somalia. Somalia province this is. The next one is Ambazonia. So Ambazonia is a territory which is present in Cameroon, which is trying to gain its own independence. So which is a sovereign territory in the Cameroon, that is Ambazonia. The next one is Botswana. Because Botswana has been in news, because there are many elephants present in the Botswana. So they are trying to threaten, the Botswana government has threatened the Germany government that we'll try to send you 60,000 elephants, take it. So they are trying to threaten the Germany. So that's why it is in news. Regarding Botswana, we need to understand there is a Kalahari copper belt, which is present in Botswana, which is famous copper region, copper producing region. The next one is Zanzibar Island. Zanzibar Island, it is in news because we are trying to establish IIT. So IIT Madras has been the pioneer in establishing an IIT in Zanzibar Island. So this is a Zanzibar Island, which is a province of Tanzania, Tanzanian island. So Zanzibar Island. The next one is Kariba crisis. Kariba crisis. So the Kariba crisis is between, you see, this is Lake Kariba, which is present in Zimbabwe. So we have talked about Zambezi River. So Zambezi River comes here and becomes Lake Kariba in Zimbabwe and then flows into the Indian Ocean. Then we have Chobe River also, which is in Namibia. So these are the things we are trying to discuss regarding the places in news. We'll come up with a different part. The part 2 will also be there for this lecture, which will have more detailed analysis of the remaining things which are in news. So see you guys again.